Mr. Pop. Dark.
When the little birds are nesting, and I listen to them croon, there's two lonesome people in the whole wide world. That's me and the man in the moon.
Turn on our video. And our nameplates.
That means it's official, right?
What is official?
That it's the first time that we're being seen in 2021.
Sure.
This is it. This is the moment. Hey, everybody! We haven't seen you since last year.
You getting it? Are you getting it all out of your system?
Listen. I wasn't planning for that. That just happened. But I guess we could play some. I'm in a room.
I was gonna ask Ben this because Ben I feel like usually has the best grasp on the schedules for this stuff, but they probably are going to be spoiling the next campaign soon, right? Assuming there is one.
Deciding if this light needs to be on or not. Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't there be another campaign, Dan? Why would you say such a thing?
Well, and by spoiling, I mean like FFG should be spoiling it, I don't know, in a month or so, but like we also might just randomly get like, you know, a Polish image of the box or something, or from like the Czech
as is
Republic
custom.
Yeah, just like some country will like get the full translation of the campaign guide or something.
I'm excited.
I mean, they just posted.
That's true. I guess you're right.
Well, they posted the article for the 6th one this week, or was it last week? I guess it was last week.
Last week. Yeah.
And I feel like the next campaign, isn't there like a 2-month gap usually? But they announced the main deluxe a little bit earlier, so maybe we'll be seeing that in like 6 weeks or something.
But they haven't announced a return to that would come between them. I mean, they might announce that. They might announce that in like a few weeks, and then they might announce a new campaign like a few weeks after that.
Yeah, they return to what's next? Circle and Done? Is that the 4th cycle?
Oh man,
the good one.
Oh man, that's exciting. I forgot about that. Here we were stuck in Forgotten Age like all last year, but now we're back to good stuff. Do you think they're just gonna like remake the prologue and that's it?
That'd be funny. Are you Dan? Are you back to hating Forgotten Age? Have you oscillated back in the Dan direction?
Like as if it's bad?
I don't know. It seems like this is complicated for you.
It goes back and forth constantly. I play the first one and I'm like, yeah, this is okay. I play the second one, this is significantly less okay. Play Threads of Fate, I'm like, this is great. I love this campaign. I'm on board with everything. And then I play Boundary Beyond and it's like, I want to throw my cards in a fire. And then from like almost from then on, except for I think the Depths of Yoth I love, but everything else is like, meh. I'm spending time doing this. That's usually what goes through my head.
I actually think what's the last one? Shattered Aeons. Shattered Aeons is actually pretty cool.
Yeah. I most recently played that with Marie and Stella, and Marie she just got rolled every single scenario. I tried really hard to like Marie, but man, it felt so bad. It felt so bad.
Yeah, it also just seems like a pretty bad campaign to have Baron Samedi in.
Yes, it was.
I always forget about that Marie. Like I played Marie a couple times. It's like, you just get one dude down. It's kind of fun. You get your good buddy David Renfield, but then Baron Samedi comes out, wrecks everyone's day.
Here's my new pitch. So we're a podcast. We're 3 people that spend time talking about this game. It's natural for us to take on responsibilities to help the community. The Drawn to the Flame guys basically run like Arkham Knights UK. The Mythos Busters run Iron Man and stuff. Here's what I think our job should be. One of our jobs, because I'll probably come up with other ideas later.
This is your live proposal.
We should be in charge of who they write books for, which investigators, because I think we could identify which investigators would be fun to play if they didn't have absolutely crippling weaknesses. Because top of the list would be like Marie would be like up here, right?
Yeah. Min
But
for me.
I feel like Marie is the least likely candidate for a book because she was already sort of a promo investigator.
Yeah.
Also,
weren't you pitching
Mandy.
you needed Mandy as a
Mandy, yeah, Mandy badly needs a buff because her weakness is very annoying. So it makes it significantly less fun to play Mandy. Now, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, but Dan, Mandy's the best character in the game. Well, yes, of course. But I really dislike drawing whatever her weakness is called like 6 times per game. And I would like to instead draw it like something else, maybe, you know? So that would be my pitch. First Mandy, then Marie, then maybe Min. You know, we'll work our way down the list. Also, I would like to generate titles for the books. I'm not going to pitch a plot. I'm just going to make up a title, and then they have to like write a book that matches the plot somehow. So maybe the Mandy one is going to be called like the Parallax Conundrum or something, and then they just have
I'm sure MJ would be on board with that.
Yeah, they just have to like take that and run with it and write a book called The Parallax Conundrum. And that's what I think. If we're going to buy all these books, we should get to have a little bit of input into how they're made. That seems fair. That would be a pretty
cool duty, honestly. I would so be down with changing up some investigators' weaknesses and things. But anyway,
you want to smoothly transition us into the actual podcast?
we're talking about. We're not going to be talking about cards. We're going to be talking about cars.
Remember, don't transition us. Smoothly start us like fresh into the episode. Very important.
Clean cut.
Yep.
Guys, we're never here.
Like a razor.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Miskatonic University Radio, a podcast exploring fantasy flight games as Arkham Horror, the card game. I'm Dane.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Ben.
And thanks, everybody, for being here tonight. We hope your 2021 has been good for, good starts to 2021. This episode, we're going to be talking about getting in cars. We're going to be talking about Top Gear Arkham Edition. We're going to be going fast. We thought
the gears are going to be high. That's the first promise that we can make about this episode.
Yeah. I for one don't know how to drive manual, so I'm glad that this is a fictional card game where we're going to be pressing an action button and going.
I've been practicing a lot with my new racing sim setup to prepare for this pack. I've made some progress. I don't have a shifter yet. I've just been driving like a Lamborghini or whatever in automatic, which seems normal. That's probably a thing that lots of people do. So.
I got an RC car for my cat, and he loves it. So that's my contribution to this.
Nice. Very nice.
So yeah, I mean, we've got some cards to discuss. Like, these are like the first cards of the year, so you know, I don't know where that puts this is going to put the bar somewhere, and then from there we're either going to go up or down.
All right. Well, why don't
that's the information I can give you.
Thanks for that very insightful point there, Dane. Let's jump right in. So let's pull up the first card.
God. Let's do it. Yeah. Okay. So the first new card in this pack is a new card called Enchanted Armor. It's a Guardian asset. It costs 1. It is level 2. It has a willpower symbol and an agility symbol. It is a ritual and an armor. And it says, play Enchanted Armor under the control of any investigator at your location. Forced, after damage and or horror is placed on Enchanted Armor, the owner of Enchanted Armor tests Will X, where X is the total amount of damage and horror on it. If the test fails, discard Enchanted Armor and assign the damage and or horror just placed on it elsewhere. And it has Star Health, Star Sanity, and it takes up your body slot and an arcane slot. That's a
body and an arcane. Yeah, for especially for Guardian.
Yeah, I mean, the arcane slot, there's not much competition for Guardian, so it's basically just a body slot, right?
And even the body slot, like, I mean, do people really play Bandolier that much? I guess Flamethrower is people play that a lot.
Yeah.
Flamethrower, Bandolier, Backpack.
It's not too much competition. So
yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, Guardians with high will, right? Let's start there. Like Zoe and Larry, Leo Anderson, could be pretty okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, Guardians with high will that don't have other ways of kind of protecting themselves, I would say. I mean, really, you kind of have to compare this against, like, every Guardian pretty much plays Hallowed Mirror, right? Unless there's like another neck they really want to wear. So I guess you could say like, oh, maybe Zoe like plays this and then she doesn't need to take up her accessory slot,
like Whistle or something. Yeah.
But I think, like, I mean, it's worth thinking about, like, if you're going to play Hallowed Mirror, do you also play this? and what are the kind of advantages to each one of them? I don't know. What do you guys think?
The will test is a weird order because we do have we we do have like Larry and Zoe who do have 4 will, and that's kind of reasonable. But that's like if you're thinking like, oh, I'm gonna use this to soak a bunch of horror and damage, then you're really gonna think about passing at least like if you're gonna take like a rotting remains to the face, or if you're gonna take I don't know, something else to the face, and you want more than just 1 card worth of stuff to go on this, right? Or one attack to go on this, or else like you might as well just play dodge or something, right? Like
you want to be able to soak a couple things, I think. And oh, did we lose Dane? Did I lose Dane?
Oh,
I'm here. I remain in the car. That is this horror and high gear review.
Oh no, I confused myself because I started looking at the stream video instead of the actual video. Anyway, yeah, so so you want something that can soak a couple hits. It's also dangerous, like if you're playing if you're playing this in like a higher difficulty, you don't really want to do as many unnecessary tests. Like dodge is so much better. I guess if this potentially can soak a couple hits, then that's good. But
I think there's a lot of potential for nonsense with this card.
Yes.
Like I'm actually more into this card than I kind of let on at first. So a couple of things, like this card potentially protects you from all damage and horror forever, as long as you can keep passing tests. Like it doesn't even exhaust, right?
Well, that's an asterisk too.
And so William York can play this, and even when it does get trashed, he can just keep.
Oh, that's funny.
So like if you have ways to recur things, then it also can keep you very safe, right?
And he can use the will test to fail and do survivor things.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah, like I think it's a good William York card, but I mean what I'm kind of thinking is like, suppose you have some way to like occasionally automatically pass a test or something, or even like just draw an elder sign or something like that. Like, I mean, this is another kind of payoff for that, right? Like it's only going to work in certain scenarios where you want to take a crap load of damage, but it's at least worth thinking about it. It's like a unique thing that it can do. It's also cheap, it's only $1, and like Ben said at the beginning, it takes up slots that you don't really need usually for a lot of Guardians.
Yeah.
So I'm not totally sure that I'm just going to like put it in every Guardian deck, but I'm interested to play with it. Obviously, my favorite Guardian is Mark, and for Mark, like I'm not sure whether this would replace the standard Mark package of like Second Winds and Hallowed Mirrors, and now the Empty Vessel, which is amazing. But I'm maybe at least going to try it.
Yeah,
I think that's fair.
There's also a point where I'm thinking like, oh, you take a damage and a horror, but you could just choose whatever your weaker stat is, and that's what you soak on it. Like someone in chat mentioned, like for Mary, who has like a health of 5, she might want to grab this, but she has a high willpower.
Yeah,
she could use this to soak damage.
That's a great reason.
Another combo that I'm thinking of, I'm not totally sure this works, but if you give out Solemn Vows to people,
I was gonna bring that up.
Because when you have to test when you place damage.
It's infinite. Yes.
Damage to this.
Oh.
It doesn't trigger the test.
See, if you have one of these,
move it. Oh man.
Yes.
Putting damage and horror on you forever. You can get 1,000 horror on this, and you'll never. I mean, even if you do eventually take a test for some reason and fail it, like okay, finally it goes away, and then you play another one, or you play it out of your discard pile or something.
So I think MJ kind of balanced it. The stipulation there being that it says if the test fails, discard enchanted armor and assign the damage and horror just placed on it elsewhere. The issue with moving it though is that damage and horror was already there. So let's say you take like a horror or 2 from whatever, and then you're forced to do the test. You've already got like 50 or whatever horror on it. It doesn't matter because it says and assign the damage and or horror just placed on it.
So
elsewhere. So you would only have to put that 2 last horror on it.
So
on your.
I think this. I'm not 100% sure on this because you can move stuff to it, but it's not assigning here. Like, isn't Mark the loophole for Mark is like it's because it triggers when you assign damage, isn't it? Not when you place.
Well, Mark says when you place damage on a card, he would draw a card, but because Solemn Vow doesn't place. It he doesn't trigger.
Chat is saying it does trigger. I don't know though. Yeah, I really thought that placing is different from moving.
I thought so too.
Like you're definitely not assigning damage. You're not taking damage. You're not being dealt damage. I guess you kind of are placing in the sense that you're literally, if somehow you're actually playing Arkham physically with people, in which case lucky you, I guess you are technically like physically placing a token on it.
Yeah, I'm not sure like how the rules. I was gonna bring that up actually and ask and see if that's like an actual thing. It feels like a weird loophole, but honestly, it's kind of a stretch anyway.
Well, let's kind of set that aside. I guess I'm now more skeptical about that. I think that's up in the air. Maybe that doesn't work. But
Yeah.
even without the Solemn Vow interaction, I mean, I still think this is a pretty good card.
Yeah, I think it's really cool that you could play it on somebody else too. Like
Also,
if you're specifically with a team that can deal with like Will or whatever.
Also, extremely good art, which is much cooler than Copycat and would make a much better playmat than Copycat.
Yeah.
Not to completely dump on Copycat all the time because it's a cool card and it's pretty good art, but I think every time that we see a cool art on a card from now on, I'm going to say, oh, this would have made a better playmat than Copycat. And you know, that's just what I'm going to do. So I'm just warning everybody now.
I mean, the other thing that you're comparing this to is Spiritual Resolve. It's at like 5 experience, one that's like, I think it takes up the arcane slot too, and then it's like a myriad, so whenever you draw it you can use it to clear off the other one, but this is 2 experience, like come on. And also the Yorick interaction I like a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think this one's pretty cool. I think we're gonna maybe have to play around with it a little bit to see just how good it is, but at the very least I think it's a neat card.
Yeah, same. Let's move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see here. Next card is a Guardian, another Guardian card. Blessing of Isis. It is a 2 cost, level 3 asset. Commits for 1 wild symbol. It's been a little while. Its subtypes are Ritual and Blessed, which means Mateo can play it. It triggered ability when the second Blessed token is revealed during a single skill test at your location. Exhaust Blessing of Isis. Cancel that token and treat it as if it were a Elder Sign token instead. Return both of those tokens to the Chaos bag after this test ends. And it takes up no slots, for what that's worth.
This card's funny.
It's definitely interesting. So we're talking about, I mean, earlier in the set, payoffs for Mary, right? And like bless things and things. What do you think about this as like a possibility of that?
I mean, in our game we're playing with Colin, we do have tests where we occasionally draw like 3 or 4 blessed tokens, and it's really funny. But I don't think it happens consistently.
About like 3 times per round, somebody draws a single blessed token and doesn't need it. It's somewhat rare that somebody draws 2 blessed tokens and doesn't need them, although that does also happen.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, in this case, yeah, it doesn't need them is the important part, because if you would succeed with 2 blessed tokens already, then you don't really care as much about the Elder Sign. For most characters, obviously there's a couple characters where their Elder Sign is pretty crazy, but
yeah, I think, Ben, I think you're on the right track. Like, I think that this really completely is dependent on how good your Elder Sign is.
Oh, I solved it. Mateo.
Not just helping you exactly, like not just helping you pass tests, but actually giving you value. So like Mateo, I think this is pretty good for. Probably.
Yeah, he is a great Elder Sign.
If you're doing like maximum blessed token Mateo, which I'm not even sure.
Or just blessed team, right? If you have Sister Mary and Mateo on a team, I mean, but also like
the Pope team, Pope Junior Catholicism buddies or something. I don't know.
It's the whole holy team.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Team priest or whatever. Yeah,
team pray. How about that?
Yeah, in that case, it's maybe pretty solid.
Yeah, I like so. This card supplements the permanent, right? The one, the covenant, the covenant, because that stops you from having like kind of more erroneous.
I mean, the covenant helps you keep your blessed tokens for longer in the bag, so it ups your odds of this triggering, I guess.
The covenant helps you when you draw a blessed token that you don't need, put it back in the bag so you can draw it again when you still don't need it.
Draw 3 more.
Yeah.
But then this card kicks in, right? So I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of layers. I like to try and get blessed to work in ultimate like satisfaction or whatever. But Ron does have a good point. There is a card that's coming up. We're probably not going to talk about it just yet. Favor of the Sun, which is a pretty great card, and I'm pretty excited for that packet in general. But for now, it's probably worth trying in Mary and possibly Mateo, right? If you're doing
Yeah,
blessed stuff.
I haven't seen that card yet, so we might have to revisit
Right.
this later. I think for now, my take is this is maybe worth playing if you have a good Elder Sign, meaning like a kind of Mandy or not that Mandy can play this, but like kind of like a Mandy or Father Mateo type Elder Sign where it draws you cards or something, and if you're going to have a lot of blessed tokens.
Yeah, for sure.
Aside from that, probably wouldn't play it, but let's wait and see what the upcoming blessed cards are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As with all the blessed tokens, once we have the whole cycle, we'll reevaluate. All right.
I feel like that just needs to be the slogan.
Yeah, it's because you need the whole cycle to get the whole gimmick to work to see if it'll work or not. You know. All right. So
Speaking of getting gimmicks to work.
Here we go.
Oh, what happened? All right. So let's move on to the secret cards. So we have the upgrades for Cryptic Grimoire in this pack. So there's two of them. They're very similar. I'll read one of them and then read the difference in the second one. So it's Cryptic Grimoire. This one is Text of the Elder Herald. It is a cost 3 asset, level 4, with an intellect and agility icon. It's an item, Tome and Cursed. You can only include in your deck by upgrading from the Cryptic Grimoire untranslated, and only if you have translated the Grimoire in your campaign log, just like all the other untranslated stuff. Reaction: after you resolve one or more curse tokens during a skill test, place that many secrets on Cryptic Grimoire. Reaction: when you play an insight event during your turn, spend 2 secrets. That event gains fast, reduce its cost by 1, takes up a hand slot. And then I'll read the other one. The other one is the Text of the Elder Guardian. Differences are it has... What's my computer doing? Differences are it has a willpower icon and a book icon, or intellect icon. This one is blessed instead of cursed, and the trigger is after you resolve one or more curse tokens still. Sorry, the second trigger is different. Reaction: when you would draw the top card of the encounter deck, spend 5 secrets, draw a card from your deck instead.
My question here is: Does Larry Anderson count as an Elder Guardian? He's very old and he's also a guardian.
That's a good point.
Is it a good point?
It's interesting. It's interesting that one of these is blessed and one of these is cursed in terms of their traits, but they both deal only with curse tokens.
Yeah, that's why I got thrown off. I thought the second one was going to be triggered off blessed tokens.
Yeah. Surprise! Not today. We're talking about paradoxes.
It's also cursed. So
secrets don't have anything that interacts with blessed tokens yet, do they? And they probably won't.
No, I don't think so.
They're
mostly curses.
You know why? Because seekers are cool. That's why.
Only cool people curse the bag.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's the attitude you have to have going into it.
Yeah.
So I guess can we? So the original it's both blessed and cursed.
I pulled up the original,
or is it?
It's just a cult. It doesn't have blessed or cursed.
So Mateo can.
Yeah, so
Damn it, Mateo.
Damn it. Get the second one now.
So before we talk about these actual what it would be like to actually play with either of these cards, I want to kind of briefly go back to our discussion about the untranslated version. And I think what we thought about it was significantly more annoying to translate than any of the previous things. Like there's ways with other cards and with other interactions to speed it up, and it might be worth it if you want to play one of these, but it's worth mentioning that like these are kind of a higher cost just to upgrade into them than something like Strange Solution or Archaic Glyphs.
Because originally you need to get 10 curse tokens in the bag, which means if you're playing a multiplayer, that can be kind of tricky. If people are doing tests, they're going to probably be taking your curse tokens out, unless you have like a covenant that is helping protect them or something. Notably, the base Grimoire does put blessed tokens in the bag when you trigger the ability after you get the 10 curse in.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
That's true. But that's like a one-time the entire campaign kind of a thing, probably.
Yeah.
So,
so the one thing that I'm very excited about both of these cards for is that we're going to be going on a cursed run. Spoilers. and for anybody who's just going like straight flat out cursed team, have fun with cursed tokens, this is probably going to be in your roster, right? Like this is one of the things that you want to try and figure out if it's actually really good or if it will function in a cursed setting, in like the setting for it to thrive anyway.
Yeah.
So
Someone's asking in chat if you can like put secrets on it, even though it doesn't have the uses X secrets on it or secrets X on it, and I don't remember the answer. That's
well, I believe that, so that there was a spoiled card recently, which I don't even remember the name. I just remember that I saw it and I immediately was very excited about it. But I mean, I think that at least some of these cards are going to let you put secrets on things that don't technically say uses secrets, unless there's some weird random rule in the rule book that they add that makes you not be able to do that. But so yes, I mean that's cool because like okay, both of these accumulate secrets by when you draw curse tokens. It's worth mentioning is when you resolve curse tokens. So if you have some kind of thing that like cancels curse tokens or turns them into blessed tokens or something, that would not help you get secrets onto this.
Right.
But yeah. Seekers do have some good cards like Stirring Up Trouble that add curse tokens. Yes. There's other things like Promise of Power and Faustian Bargain that add curse tokens. Seekers also have wasn't there like a Seeker kind of fight event that like costs curse or that does more damage with curse tokens that we were kind of talking
Gaze of Araxash or whatever.
So like there's kind of the beginnings of a sort of a deck there. So that's cool. And yeah, like potentially, I mean, you might be able to get some extra secrets from several other very good, very broken Seeker cards that help you put secrets on things. So you might be able to get a number of secrets on this.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. At the end of the day, even if you put these 2 cards in your deck and they don't do anything, you've still got 28 cards that are Seeker cards, ideally. So like the rest of your deck is going to be doing fantastic, even if these 2 cards are just being committed for a will.
But so it's worth mentioning. I mean, $3 is kind of a lot. It takes up a hand slot. Yeah. These are both high costs.
So
however, and looking at the payoffs for these, the first one, the Elder Herald one, the cursed one, where it makes insights fast and reduces the cost by 1. Look, the reason that Seekers are incredibly hilariously broken is that they never actually need to spend actions to play cards.
Yeah.
Right. Like when I play a Seeker deck, it's mostly skills and fast events and like a couple of assets that I'm going to play once. I'm not spending actions to play, like, I don't even know what card I would play because I'm not playing those cards. so this one I'm not excited about. Can you guys think of a good use for the Elder Herald one?
So Abby, I think, is pretty cool with this, right? The book lady who doubles things. Can't you put this on her and then she can double the second effect, or would you still have to have the secrets on it? Abigail Foreman? Yeah. Because I know she does cool things with tomes, and Daisy does cool things with tomes. I know Daisy can't really make much use out of this other than like getting the untranslated one translated a little faster, but like maybe she could do something. I don't remember exactly how she reads, so I don't know if you're able to double like
it's an action ability, not a reaction, so you wouldn't be able to use it with her.
Damn it.
Yeah. She could hold it for you if you wanted, but otherwise
yeah, that is true. So, I mean, I'm not super excited about that payoff for the Elder Herald one, although, I mean, there are some pretty good events that, like, we don't really even look at because they're not fast, and, well, I mean, true, if you had a million secrets, maybe you'd find one that's good enough payoff, maybe Seeking Answers or something like that. There are a lot of insights, so...
I mean, stuff that you put in, like, Joe's Insight deck would probably be things you'd consider running with this, right? Because those are the things that are, like, 1-2 cost. I guess a lot of those are already fast, though.
Or 10 cost.
That's a good point. And I mean, I think Joe could take this and it would work on playing things out of his hunch deck.
Yeah,
right?
he could maybe combine it so that you make stuff that's not fast, and maybe even use 3 cost insights.
I mean, I don't think that yeah, that's true, because he doesn't really benefit from, like, unless he plays really expensive insights. And I think that his hand slots are too precious. But anyway, let's talk about the Elder Guardian one. I mean, 5 secrets is a lot, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm honestly, I'm mostly thinking about the draw an extra card part instantly, because obviously I want to draw more cards. Well, but you wouldn't be drawing it during main phase, so it's not like the best. But it's but the main thing is, like, I mean, not drawing encounter cards is cool, but it's also just not drawing an encounter card before you see what it is a lot worse than like warding something, because I think for most decks in most situations, something like a third of the encounter deck is like a treachery that you can handle pretty easily. Unless
Yeah.
there's some scenarios where it's an absolutely terrible stack deck, but usually you're not scared of all the counter cards.
This is delaying the encounter card that you would draw anyway, right? It's not actually.
It's giving it to somebody else effectively, right?
Unless it's like the last round or whatever. But
yeah.
But that's still good though. Like one less encounter card is still good, and you get to draw a card.
Yeah.
And maybe you're not the person who has awards in your deck, so you want other people to draw the potentially scary cards anyway. Or you're not you're not a fighter, so you don't want to draw an enemy or whatever. So
I think if you can build a ridiculous secrets engine where you're triggering an astounding revelation every turn, you're using the new card that just got spoiled every turn, you're moving stuff around with Ultra. So like if you're getting like 3 or 4 secrets a turn and you're avoiding like half of your encounter card things and turning them into draws, then this becomes like actually maybe pretty cool. That's kind of what I'm saying.
Yeah. I would note that the base level to get secrets on it is only when you resolve the curse tokens. It's not like when anybody has resolved one. So that's kind of slow. So it weakens it in multiplayer. But yeah, no, I agree. There could be some if you have other ways to get secrets on here, which we have some existing ones, and there's some upcoming ones that are been previewed on the FFG articles. That could make this pretty cool.
Yeah, what I think this really does is just like open up kind of like a card pool for if you really want to do a curse run, like it just get a whole bunch of curses. Otherwise, just stick with the true good ones.
I'm pretty sure we have plans to do some type of crazy curse run once the whole.
Very excited for that.
I mean,
very excited for that.
Credit to the design team, because when we saw the untranslated version of this, I basically said, this is too many hoops to jump through. There's enough other cool untranslated stuff. I probably don't even care what these do. And I don't think these are like a slam dunk, but they're interesting and they seem kind of like fun in the right situation. So they're better than they're making me think about it when I thought I wouldn't even think about it.
Yeah. All right. Well, why don't we move on to the rogue cards?
The Rouge.
Yes. Let's do it. Okay, so the first rogue card is a event called Reastrad, I guess.
Reastrad, I think. The accent is over the I.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm not the person to go to, but there is an accent which I did put in this.
Is it like Gaelic or something? Like what
it is, yeah. I actually looked it up earlier today. It's like based on some like myth, and I think it means like it's like warp twist or something like that, or like battle rage, something like that.
I was thinking maybe it was backwards. Backwards, it's darts air. So maybe that's part of the answer. Anyway, so it is a 0 cost event. Level 1 has 2 combat symbols. It is a spell, a spirit, and it's cursed. And it says fight. When you initiate this attack, add up to 3 curse tokens to the chaos bag. For each curse token added to the chaos bag in this way, you get +1 combat and deal +1 damage for this attack.
Wow, that's a 4 cost event or 4 damage event that doesn't have a cost.
Right?
That's great, right?
Yeah, that's fantastic.
No one cares about curse tokens, and Calvin can play it because it's a spirit card for some reason.
That's exactly the best part of it.
Can Calvin play level 1 spirits?
He sure can. He can play level 0 to 3 because he can play ward level 2.
Yeah. So this seems like a really good card. Because like curse cares about curse tokens.
I'm excited to grab this in Tony for sure, and probably on our curse run. Like this is really cool. It even commits for 2 combat. That's great. I mean, I don't know when you wouldn't use this, but I mean, it's really good.
Look, guys, if I want to fight stuff, I just play Mark, and that's about as complicated as it needs to be.
But for those outside the Dan box,
this seems pretty good. Yeah, if you're gonna play a green fighting character, then probably play this.
Yeah, it's also a spell. That means Marie can take it. I don't remember what her fight
it's
is.
True. Yeah.
Maybe
Ron, you got it right.
Punch something.
Marie can take it.
I don't know.
Yeah, it basically, it's funny because we talked about the seeker card where you draw a bunch of tokens, and for each curse token that you find, it adds a damage. This is obviously much better. It's much better to just add curse tokens and reliably get that much damage out of it. You'd rather have this.
And again, it's a +3 fight for 4 damage. Seems so good. I don't know.
That's huge. Also double, right? Like, come on.
Lord Batboy says they've been consistent with adding curses to pay a 0 cost to event. They're all good. Faustian Bargain, Deep Knowledge, all of them are kind of bonkers.
Well,
I don't Is Deep Knowledge the one that draws you cards? And we
Yeah, it's sketches, but free. It's like
I mean,
0 to draw 2 cards, but anybody can draw. No, anybody draw 3 cards.
that one we thought was kind of underwhelming, but only because Seekers are so broken. Like if they banned all the good Seeker cards, that one would be sort of okay. So yeah, I think all these like 0 cost, but you have to add curse tokens. Those are just pretty much always great.
Yeah,
it's like okay.
The curse tokens are just not scary. Like if you rack up when you rank up to like 10 of them, what does it affect your odds of success? Like 5% or something, or 8%? I don't remember. It wasn't. It's like not as significant.
It's just like conditional probabilities. It's like it might make you fail a test if you draw it and then a bad token, and it might be a test that you actually care about, and you might not have any way to deal with it. And probably not all those things are true. Curse tokens are any time that the game wants to let me like pay for something by taking curse tokens, come on, give it to me. Come on.
Well, I mean, I think the only wall here, right, is if we're going full cursed run and we're already at 10 curses, you can't add curse tokens to this bag, right? So like you can't actually trigger the adding more curse things, which means that you don't get the +1 damage and whatever. So you kind of have to like play with that in your mind, but really, if you can play around that, I think you're pretty okay.
Yeah, I get that is a restriction for our all cursed run. When we do that, we might run into that if we're all trying to.
We're going to run into that wall probably plenty of times, and it's going to be great.
It's a really good point, but you just need to think about what type of curse synergies you have across your group. Like, if people want there to be a lot of curse tokens in the bag so they can draw them, like Dexter playing the curse spells, that's kind of iffy, because ideally what you'd have is a mix of like people that are going to draw extra tokens and pick a curse and resolve it and not care about it. Well, but I mean, I guess as long as Dexter's like fishing for curse tokens, Dexter's like trying to draw them and get them out of the bag.
Yeah, you need you want some people that are adding consistently and some people that are pulling and benefiting from them consistently.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
That'd be a good balance.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think we should move on to the next card because we only have good things to say about this one. So.
Yep.
Oh yeah. So the next card is a Tristan Botley, Fixer for Hire. It's Botley, right? Not Botley. He is a 5 cost level 2.
I don't know.
Rogue.
Is it Gaelic? I mean, you're an expert apparently. So,
Mr. Botley, Fixer for Hire, 5 cost level 2 rogue asset. Commits for 1 wild. He's an ally, criminal, and cursed. Triggered ability: after your next turn begins, choose 2 skills. Until the start of your next turn, you get +2 to each of those 2 skills. And then triggered ability: after any skill test ends in which a total of 3 or more blessed or cursed tokens were revealed, play Tristan Botley from your hand at no cost. And then his flavor text has him speaking with his dog, I'm guessing. He's got 3 health and 2 sanity and takes up an ally slot.
I mean, he could be talking to the body that's on fire in front of him. That could be Vito.
That's a body?
I don't know.
Is the dog named Vito? That's a weird name for a dog.
Here's the thing. Community manager Evan looks suspiciously close to this guy. So I'm imagining that maybe he has a dog named Vito, or the dog's name is backwards and it's actually Otiv.
I just had the same thought. That's why we're friends. We make the same dumb jokes.
We're cracking this case.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, this card had a weird thing happen right when it was first revealed for a second, kind of like what was that thing with Carolyn? Something weird happened when something was spoiled. Like Carolyn could take weapons, or no, she could take agency backup. There's like, they were alluding in an article when agency backup was spoiled. It was like, this is a great ally for Carolyn, and then they like quickly.
Dane, I don't actually read the articles anymore. I look at the card previews, and I don't want any spoilers about the scenario at all. So I just like briefly flash through and find the player cards, and then move on. And remember, like, I'm really excited to play this in 4 months, whatever it is. So,
well, that's the way to do it. But yeah, this guy had something else weird. I forget what it was.
Well, I don't know. But I mean, let's take a look at the card. So he gives you +2 to any 2 skills of your choice each round.
No, +1.
Or so, excuse me, +1. Yeah, +1 to 2 skills. And that, like, a lot of the allies we see that are like higher level allies give you +2 to 2 static skills. So that seems okay, but he doesn't give any other effect. So you have to decide if like having +1 to 2 skills every round is good.
Yeah, because I mean, if you compare this to like upgraded Peter Sylvester or like Lola Santiago, you know, they give you like static 2 skills, but they're also cheaper and they do something else as well. Like they
Yeah,
both have
exactly.
very good secondary effects.
Right.
Which isn't to say that, like, I mean, those are very, very good cards. Even if he's not as good as those, it doesn't mean that he's bad. And also, for some situations, like, I mean, not every situation, but for solo, maybe being able to pick which stats you upgrade each turn could be pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
the second effect, like the revealing 3 cursed or blessed tokens, like that's kind of hard to trigger. So I think you just should assume this is going to be 5, cost 5 most of the time.
it will happen
right?
twice in the United States of America.
It'll twice, but like after you've already given up and played them and paid the 5. Right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. I mean,
But I mean,
unless there's like, I don't know, could there? I don't think we've seen kind of like token fishing stuff that's powerful enough that it would help you draw that many tokens. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if you sealed some stuff and like really loaded it up, then you
there is that. But... What's the neutral card? Add 3 curses through. It's like a cantrip. It's just like 0 cost. Tempt Fate. Tempt Fate, I think, is just kind of like your meat and potatoes card for like a blessed or cursed deck, because it adds exactly what you want. It cycles itself. It's basically you have a 28 card deck with 2 cards that give you blessed and cursed tokens.
If it does exactly what you want, so, I mean, it doesn't do anything, then I agree.
Exactly, yeah. So I mean, like that. If you're going for like a huge cursed or huge blessed or both or whatever kind of build, you could consider trying him. But honestly, like the fact that he's level 2 is kind of a boon, because it means that like people like Larry, Leo Anderson can play him, which is nice because he gets the cost discount. He has two stats that he kind of wants consistently boosted. Will and combat are pretty good on him. Other people who could play this, like who have a rogue subclass, like Wendy, she's got better allies, but you know, just the fact that it's level 2 is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking is, like, imagine there was an event that was like, play when you initiate a test. For the duration of this test, whenever you draw a chaos token, if it's a numeric token, you may set it aside and keep drawing until you find a symbol or something. Like, imagine there's like a weird thing that just makes it very likely that you can draw a bunch of nonsense symbols or something like that.
Yeah.
Even that probably wouldn't be enough to like reliably get this guy up, but maybe you'd at least have more of a straight shot at it. But yeah, I agree with you guys though. I think you have to basically just suck it up and pay the 5, especially if you draw him early. What are you going to do? Just keep him in hand for a while? Like, I guess if you're poor, you could like hope that you trigger the condition before you get $5, but if you get $5, you should just play him because you probably need the stats.
Yeah. and a couple much in chat is like the flexible stats is pretty good, because you can either choose to be offensive, defensive whenever each round. And it also will give you like different combos that we don't have from existing allies in one ally. Like, you know, Lola gives you book and agility, but maybe you want willpower and agility or something. We might not have that yet.
The thing I was thinking is like for Safina, you could get like will and agility.
Yeah.
Sylvester, except she can't take Peter, right?
Right. So has some options there. It's just you have to consider the cost and assume that second ability is going to be like.
I mean,
very hard to trigger right now.
I mean, like even so, Ben, for your Dexter deck that you're playing in Innsmouth, I mean, I feel like you're always very rich. You could definitely afford this if you wanted to. The only reason to not play it there's better allies available, and there's Leo and Arcane Initiate and David Renfield. And I'm not really even sure that you even need 2 stats. You pretty much just need will, but I mean, it's not totally crazy. You might like think about it.
Yeah, you could throw it in to have an agility in case for whatever agility cards are in this phase or something. But you're right. Like it is a +1 willpower. It could throw in there.
Rich people like Preston, probably pretty good for Preston, right?
Yeah, he always likes more stats.
Well, Preston's not allowed to have legal things, but he can have criminal friends.
But he can have criminals, exactly.
Doesn't make any sense.
Just like real millionaires.
Let's go with it, yeah.
Yeah, certainly interesting card. Why don't we move on to the Mystic card?
It's sad that I'm most excited about this card over anything else in the pack.
Yes, I'm going to say yes. So this is Curse of Aeons. It's the only Mystic card in the pack. It is a 2-cost asset, level 3, with a with a wild icon on it. It's a ritual and cursed. The ability is reaction. When a second curse token is revealed during a single skill test at your location, exhaust Curse of Aeons. Cancel that token and treat it as if it were a skull token instead. You may choose to remove both of those tokens from the chaos bag after the test ends.
All right, first word that comes to your head. It's a name. I'll give you a hint.
Pizza.
Well, as I might have mentioned,
Pizza Culver.
Is anyone except Jim ever going to play this? Just to get this question out of the way first.
I feel like I don't know where this card came from, man. They were like, how many Calvin cards have we came up with? Like 70?
So,
how many Jim cards do we have? Like
That's what
4?
This is definitely a Jim card.
I mean, yeah, Jim wants it if he's also doing curse stuff, right?
Yes.
Right. There also has to be
that is true.
curse tokens going in the bag.
Yep.
And he has to be at the same location as people that are doing tests, or he's just doing a lot of tests. But I mean, you can also do fishing stuff because you're a mystic, so you can use, what is it, Diana that lets you draw multiple, Olivia McBride, or Grotesque Statue, so it lets you draw multiple tokens, so maybe you can use that to trigger it more. So
I mean, it is 3 XP is kind of a lot. $2 is kind of a lot. I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't take up a slot though. That's good.
That's the best part. Yeah.
Interestingly though, it lets you optionally choose to remove the curse tokens after the test.
Yes.
So you could draw both of them and then keep them if you want, because it says you may choose to remove both of them, or you can just let them go away. So if you're trying to use the mystic cards that do more damage when you draw a curse token or more, whatever their effect, ones we saw a pack or two ago, then maybe this, even you're adding curse tokens other ways, maybe you want to try this out. It doesn't take up a slot, so it's like
Chad is pointing out that you don't cancel the first curse token, so you still, if you're Jim and you draw a curse token and then a second curse token, the net result from both of those is -2.
Still
which
-2. It's still fine.
Fine. Like, you should still be able to pass in most cases, although maybe not.
And anything you're trying to pass on, the -2 is you're probably committing to be too above at least. So.
You can trigger all the bad cards that only work if you draw skulls. So that's what you're really trying to do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I find it hard to use it anywhere outside Jim. Maybe if you're doing something with that spell cycle, I guess because skulls are usually like not that bad, except in some scenarios where they're extremely bad by the end.
Yeah, for sure.
It really depends if you're playing standard or hard or expert, because if you're on standard, I agree, usually skulls are pretty fine because they scale up to like -3 or something.
Yeah.
On hard, you're usually unbounded, and the scenarios where they scale with something that you can't really control, like they scale with just how you're progressing through the scenario, and by the end of it they're like -8s, those are terrible.
Yep.
And unless you're that's what I'm saying, no one except Jim should really play this, because you can't even reliably be sure that a skull is significantly better than a curse token in a lot of situations.
I guess it's kind of a reliable way to get a symbol, right? Oh.
Which some mystic spells punish you for drawing symbols. Others don't. Others punish you for reward.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ritual candles and stuff like that. Like, you could make some case for that or somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah,
seems like a specific use case. Fun to try in Jim with
Jim
some stuff.
Hooray!
So,
I'm sure Colin's elated.
I'm sure Colin's excited.
Yep. They helpfully they drew a giant skull as the art, just to make it completely clear.
Jim card.
Well, it looks like it's a skull that's been like reassembled or something, right? Like, is it like broken apart? I thought it was like shattered and like reassembled. I thought there was like.
Wait, why is it even? It's a curse of aeons. What does the skull have to do with anything?
I was guessing it was some kind of thing where your consciousness stays alive even as your body like falls apart or something, and it's like
right, that's way more terrifying than the general scope of this game. So I want you to dial it back, Dan.
Let's move on. Let's just move right on.
All right,
you're the one who wants to play this card, not me. I'm not going to play this.
That's true.
All right, so next card's Unrelenting.
Hey.
Oops, let me get rid of Jim. We don't need Jim here. Yeah, so next card is Unrelenting. This is a card we previewed a couple weeks ago. So it is a survivor skill, level 1 with a wild icon. It's practiced. Max 1 commit per test. After you commit Unrelenting to a skill test, search the chaos bag for up to 3 non Autofill chaos tokens of your choice and seal them unrelenting. If all 3 tokens sealed on unrelenting are +1, 0, blessed, and or elder sign tokens, draw 2 cards. Release all tokens sealed here after the test ends. Amazing art, as we said before. I played this in Silas for War. We played War of the Outer Gods, online.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great for Silas.
Yeah, this card's ridiculous, right? This card's like absolutely ridiculous.
It was
for Silas.
I commit this and I draw 2 cards and I pull it back.
Every single time I looked at you, I was like, "Hey, Ben, how are you doing for cards in hand?" And you're just like looking for things to discard. You're like,
"Yeah, no, my deck had too much card draw and not enough things to do with it, which is a weird problem. But definitely very good. I don't think my opinion's changed that much since a few weeks ago. It's good for Silas. You could maybe do something fun with it in Amanda.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm still kind of interested in trying that out, but the more I think about it, the less sure I am that it's worth it in Amanda, just because I feel like you really want symbols from cards that you're. I mean, it does give you 1 question mark, but I don't know. I wouldn't totally rule it out. I think it might be interesting in Amanda, but I think Silas is the more natural use case.
Yeah.
But we did already talk about this a lot. Anything else to say about it, or should we move along?
The art is still as dope as it was 2 weeks ago, man.
Really?
Come on.
Quite sure. Did we? By the way, did we screw up the order we were reading these in? I think we did, right?
Did we? What do you mean by screw? Define screw up.
Well, I think Ben was supposed to read the skull, and then I was supposed to read this.
Oh yeah, this is a repeat card, so you can read the next one, Dan.
I don't. Whatever. Okay.
Just go. All right, here it is, Dan. Here you go. Go ahead and
Let's do it. Here we go.
The card I'm so excited to read. Okay, so this is a survivor skill called Signum Crucis. It is level 2. It has a question mark icon on it. It is practiced and blessed. Commit only to a skill test you are performing, and only if the difficulty of that test is higher than your base skill value. After you commit Signum Crucis to a skill test, add X blessed tokens to the chaos bag. X is the difference between the test difficulty and your base skill value. Level.
I mean,
level
this
2,
is hilarious on Amanda, right?
I agree it's hilarious.
I say hilarious. Yes, I did not say anything else.
I'm not sure we agree why it's hilarious, but
I mean, use case for this was base skill value, right? Preston and Calvin,
right?
Oh yeah,
can load up a bunch of blessed tokens if they have a use.
Another signature card.
And I guess Mateo can take it. I don't know if this is actually good for Mateo though.
That's him in the art, right?
Yeah, well, it's blessed, so he can take it, but like most of his tests are probably gonna be will tests, and he has a high base will, so I don't know if that's gonna be.
Well, I wouldn't say a high base will. I would say an okay base will.
I mean, compared to survivors or
it's okay.
Calvin. Yeah, no, I think Calvin or Preston would be the target for this because it's the base skill value, right? So that's if you want blessed tokens. Because remember, if you're not doing anything with blessed tokens don't do anything, right?
Right. Because it is like, I mean, it is in some ways it is like Amanda could play this, and you're definitely going to. You could put a lot of blessed tokens in the bag if you committed this to Amanda. But also, you could just draw 1 million cards.
Yeah, 8 blessed tokens.
So I just don't know.
Have we seen survivor cards that key strongly off of blessed tokens that I've forgotten about already?
They seem to be more about putting tokens into the bag.
This is Beloved. Beloved's the one that you auto succeed.
Which is okay.
I don't remember any other ones.
Beloved, you have to commit to the test and then hope you draw the token to auto succeed, right?
Yes, but you could do weird things with the other card that we spoiled, Butterfly Effect.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I was trying to remember if there's stuff that, and maybe chat could help because I've forgotten if there's survivor cards that do stuff with blessed tokens other than just add them to the deck.
Well, there is also like with Unrelenting. I mean, with Unrelenting, you want to have blessed tokens to seal, so you could commit this and then commit Unrelenting, and it's like,
sure.
Then you're basically just like paying 2 cards to draw 2 cards. You should just play better cards.
I mean, Ben's previous point though, like just Silas has too many cards anyway. Might as well, right? Like, who cares?
Well, if you're playing in a team with like Mateo, who wants to draw a million blessed tokens, if you have people in your team that are really hungry for blessed tokens, like there might be some use cases for this. But that might be an unlikely situation, and if you're not in that situation, definitely don't play this.
Yeah, for Mateo, I think I really have to think hard about like the blessed cards and the blessed like payoffs that would make a good like blessed Mateo deck. Like, and I'm not certain that there is one yet. Anyway, like I know that there probably will be one by the end of the set, right? Like with all the new cards that are coming that are more blessed payoffs and setups and things like that. But like I like all these cards in a vacuum. They just do neat, cool things, but they need to all like work together in a really good way. You know what I mean? Like how research cards work really well in Mandy or anybody who researches things, right? Like those just kind of happen because they do what you want to do anyway. These cards you kind of have to stretch for, and I don't know. It feels like a stretch right now, but maybe they can all be like kind of pinned down and work really well in some specific way.
Analyze Chris in chat mentioned the Ancient Covenant, which I don't think we were a huge fan of when we saw it. When Investigator Location resolves a blessed token, exhaust, do not reveal another token as part of the test. So it turns blessed tokens to basically auto success for everything.
Yeah, once per turn. Once per turn.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's, I don't know. I guess that could help if you're like doing a lot of tests where you're not like able to commit a bunch to be high above. So if you're relying on it like that, that could be an interesting effect. But
I don't know. I would play this archetype if there was an investigator that had like Diana's deck building, but also could play all these survivor cards somehow, and had Sister Mary's stats, but not Sister Mary's 5 health. That's what then I would give this a try. But
well, you've got Gloria, right? Gloria can kind of do that ish.
Wait, what's special about Diana's deck building?
Well, I 35 cards. The thing is, like, if I'm going to have High Will, I want to play Mystic cards, but then I also want to be able to play the blessed tokens are all spread out among like 3 different colors. Like, the art's cool. It's kind of a weirdly like kind of blank looking church, but there's like interesting light stuff happening. That's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
the guy
that's my favorite part about this card.
The guy he's trying to heal. I don't know what's going on with him. He's got a interesting face.
It's like Ashcan's brother or something.
Yeah, I don't.
What's going on there, bud?
What is this Latin for? I assume this is Latin for something, right? The Signum Crucis.
Sign of the Cross.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So is he maybe trying? He's trying to like bless this guy or save him something, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, that seems like his whole kind of vibe is doing that. So
one cool fact about this art here, it's also on a card in Arkham 3rd Edition that just came out. Mateo just released on Arkham 3rd Edition, and the card that this is on, it's like Hold Back the Darkness or something like that, is actually ridiculously good. Oh. It's like hilariously good, and I think that they like intentionally, they were like, well, Mateo and like Calvin are kind of like at the bottom of the barrel and Skids are kind of like in this game in terms of like matching up with other people who can do their things better. But like in Arkham 3rd Edition, they're just insane. Like they just do these ridiculous things. This card is one of them.
They kind of did the same thing between Eldritch Horror in this game. They promoted Rex from bottom of the barrel to basically needed to get banned like 6 months after the game came out.
It's true.
So there is a precedent for this.
I wonder if there's some type of edict where they're like, all right, this investigator didn't turn out we wanted in this game, so when we release him in the new game, you know, it's okay if he's a little, you can try to make him good, and then they overdo it sometimes, you know. But
I'm still waiting anxiously for Bob Jenkins to come down the pipe.
Yeah.
I want Bob Jenkins to drop.
I want Daryl
as soon as possible. Yeah.
There's a bunch of investigators, but I'm really excited for it. But honestly, though, I think that this pack feels like the pack that's just like kind of the mandatory, the one that they have to give us before the really cool stuff happens. They're like, all right, here's the stuff. But wait, there's more. By the way, go play with some cars. You know, like, and then we're gonna get to the really cool stuff.
I don't know. There was some interesting stuff in this pack. I mean, for only 9 cards, I think it was. You know, I mean, it was kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to go on car adventures with friends. Definitely not Larry Anderson, because there's no way he's driving a car.
Nope.
Yeah. Let's see, you want to wrap us up, Dane? I don't know if you have anything
Yeah,
else to
yeah.
say,
So I mean, like, I feel maybe a little down on this pack just because it's not like really big, exciting, cool stuff. It's more just like supplementary things that might help us more later and get shown the light of bless and curse later. But how does everybody else feel about it? I mean, like, where are you going to be putting these cards? Does anybody feel like Sister Mary and Mateo are receiving the support that they do need to be like viable and good and fun to play in a team? What's your thoughts? Reach out to us on Facebook, Reddit, Instagram, wherever you guys listen to podcasts. Email us at comments@mur.fm. And by the way, thanks everybody for your support. We did just hit like 100 followers on Twitch. So yay, friends. We want to get there for YouTube because we want to have the URL not be like youtube.com/ we want it to be like Miscellaneous Radio. And that's great. That's been bugging me for a while. But yeah, thanks everybody for your support. Thanks everybody for listening and hanging out with us here tonight. Be safe, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Right, bye.
Dane really wants to get one of those little crystal plaques that they send you when you get like 1 million subscribers.
Can't you
And,
just like grab one from the YouTube warehouse
like
or something?
there. Well, we kind of use them to like prop open doors and stuff sometimes, but we can't go into the office right now. So
Oh.
you know, it makes it awkward. But, you know.
All right, I'm gonna stop the stream.